Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Spicy Tales Podcast with Kim and Stacy.
What up?
Fuck you.
I'm sorry. Take two.
Yeah, this is a take two. Anyways, let me get straight into my spicy tale because I got one. Okay, so I take the OC Transpo. It's the public transportation here. It's trash. It's ass.
Yes.
The prices have gone up every single year on
Service isn't.
July 1st, but it's free on July 1st, so really the July 2nd. The golden days were when the bus tickets were colorful and huge, and they were like $1.75 or some bullshit like that.
$1.25.
$1.25. Now it's trash. The service is
There was a
trash.
point where they were 95 cents. Because I saw a picture.
Yeah, those old ones. And they were tiny.
Yeah, they were
before.
tiny.
And they got big
and then they got
like
huge.
highlight colors.
Yeah.
And then now it's just a Presto card. And I actually, one thing that I really do like about OC Transpo is that now you can tap your credit card, which is pretty crazy.
They'll find any way to take that money.
Because back in the day, like a lot of times people don't use cash, people don't have coins, so a lot of times you didn't have exact change, which is a way that you could have finessed because you could have been short by like 10, 15 cents, whatever.
Let me tell you one thing about the finesse, because if there was one thing I was good at, it was getting on the bus without exact change. As long as you've got a few quarters,
Yeah, dimes,
a lot of dimes,
and
a couple nickels in there, you're good to go. Maybe
Exactly.
even if you have like one loony somewhere, like two quarters or 1 quarter and a whole lot of dimes, you're golden.
You knew you were a new bus driver, like bus taker, if you were putting a whole like bill in there.
Oh,
Like,
you're wilding out.
out.
Wilding.
No.
Absolutely.
So, and like bus drivers are usually disrespectful. They will drive past you. If you miss the stop and they're at a red light and you're knocking at the door,
They ain't letting
they
you
will
on.
pretend like they don't hear you.
They'll literally just look like this. Like you're like at the door knocking and they're just like this.
freezing.
Like hands
Have
at
an
10
exam.
and 2. Hands at 10 and 2. They're not
Could
looking
not
in their
care less.
peripherals. They don't give a damn
Like,
that you're
those are
They
the
don't
OC
care.
Transpo bus drivers that I witnessed, that I have build trauma from, have PTSD from. So 2 weeks ago, I took the bus with my boyfriend. We were going back home, and the bus was late, which is so typical. Like, I would never expect the
it.
bus driver to come on schedule. They even have a little TV at the station counting down the minutes that it's going to come. And it'll be at 18, then 1 minute later it'll be at 18, and then 2 minutes later it'll be at 19. Like,
Yep.
it just doesn't make sense. But
They
it
don't
makes
give a
sense
damn.
because they're consistently inconsistent. Like, that's what you can depend on
Yeah.
OC Transpo being.
Yep.
So the bus was really late, a good like 10 minutes late, which is not too crazy, but it was 10 minutes late. I don't care. I'm leaving to go home, but some people are going to work.
Mhm.
So this white man, probably in his like 40s, he comes in, he's all pissed off. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're so late. I'm going to be late for work." Like, you don't know every single day that you take the same bus every single day that it's late. But anyways,
Well, if you're going home, it's probably rush hour.
yeah.
Oh, well, then, yeah, no
Like,
shit.
if you're actually trying to get to work early, like
need
you
to
already
leave
knew that
mad early.
you should have been out at work. So like, that's on you, but I get the struggle. I understand where these emotions are coming from. So he's just like, "Oh, you're so late." And the bus driver's a brown guy, probably Indian. So he's like, "You're so late. Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, why are you late?" And the bus driver's not doing anything. Honestly, I'm surprised that the bus driver even let this guy on the
Yeah.
bus, because if you start acting like that from rip, like, you're not even getting on the bus.
Oh my God.
Or
The amount of times I've seen people get like them close the door in your
close
face.
the door,
like,
or literally you're
stop the
acting
bus.
up, and the bus driver will stop the bus and be like, get everyone else mad at you,
Yep.
because we're not going nowhere until you start
he
acting
gets
right.
off- Yeah,
or he gets off the bus.
Or they'll call OC Transpo police, so then like the bus isn't moving until the police comes and escorts you off the bus. Like,
And
they don't not playing games.
So this bus driver didn't say anything. So already I was like, interesting. But okay, we continue. So we're riding to my place. My place is probably like a good 10 stops away, tops 15 minutes away. So we're on our way. We stop at Rito. Everything is fine. I'm looking at the guy because he's at the front of the bus, like behind the very first seat behind the bus driver.
Of course.
And he's just pouting and stuff. I'm like, anyways, grow up. Like, you're annoying. So then we get to his stop, which is like Ottawa U. and he starts cussing out the bus driver. He's like, come out, fight me, I'm gonna be late for work.
Aren't you gonna be late for work? You don't have time for this. What are
I'm
you
gonna
doing?
be late for work because of you. Fight me, blah blah.
You're gonna be late because you're trying to fight the bus driver in my men's.
And like he's getting off. He got off the bus, and as he's getting off, there's an indigenous person with a child. With this indigenous, so there's two indigenous people, one woman, a child with her, and the bus driver closes the door on the indigenous girl and the kid because he's like trying to protect himself from the crazy guy that's like saying, I want to fight you. I'm like, okay, I kind of understand.
Fair.
And then he starts to leave, and then he opens the door back up, and the indigenous lady gets on with her baby, her child. Their child's like 3 years old. She gets on, and she's also kind of has an attitude, probably because the door closed on her. She doesn't know what happened beforehand, so she might think that this is some racist situation. I don't know. So then the bus continues, and I'm like, interesting again. We turn the corner. Now we're on King Edward, and the bus driver goes on the intercom. I don't know if I didn't understand him because of his accent or it was just the intercom, but he was saying something along the lines of, this is a new route and it's not my job to bring you guys, to drop you guys off on time when like there's a lot of traffic and I don't know the route really well. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, since when? Like, why are you literally venting to us about this guy that was trying to fight you, who was off of the bus?
Why
like,
did
he was literally the only person that was complaining? And exactly, say it with your chest when that guy was trying to beef
like, why are you
you
trying to tell? Well, not one person on this bus is trying to fight
like,
you. Like,
we're just trying to get home. Literally couldn't care less. But already now I'm thinking like my bus driver is a little unhinged, or just not mentally stable, or he's kind of weak. Honestly, like that's not the bus drivers that I knew, I grew up with. So then he turns a corner, and at this point we're like 2 stops away from our house. He puts the brakes, he gets off the bus, and he's talking to someone on the phone. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, at this point, I can see my house down the hill. Like, I'm probably like a 3-minute walk away from my house. And I'm like, okay, like, is this guy gonna get back on, or should I just get off? And the people in the front are just like, so should we get off the bus? And he's just like, I'm not continuing this bus drive. I'm not continuing this route. I've had enough. I'm calling my supervisor. And we're like, oh my God, everyone get off the bus. Like, if you're close, just get off the bus and walk to your house.
And if you're not close, just
like,
get off.
I feel bad for you.
If you're not close, just get off and wait for the next one.
And there was the O train like right behind us, so they could have took the O train at Ottawa U. And so the native lady, the indigenous lady, she starts going off because she just got on the bus like 3 stops ago. And on top of that, he closed the door on her. So she's going off. She's just like, this is fucking stupid. I have places to go. Mind you, she's got this kid beside her. I'm just like, oh God. So then there's this white lady that comes and she's trying to de-escalate the situation. She's just like, it's okay. Like, you don't need to yell. And she's like, you fucking white bitch, this is our land. I'm like, oh my
damn.
So I mean, I'm like, just like facts, telling my like, boyfriend, damn. Like, let's go. We're already off the bus at this point.
I already know your boyfriend.
And I also called my sister as this was going on, and I'm just like, Kim, like, you won't believe what happened. But I'm walking away. My boyfriend is like, no, like, I'm staying and I'm watching this. And I'm just like, no,
I'm surprised you didn't start recording.
Like, he's like, no. I'm like, no, let's go. Like, I don't want to be around here. Like, this girl was going, she's like, I can't fucking stand it here. Like, this is my land. And so then this Arab-looking girl, she looked like a student. She starts to try to de-escalate. Like, why are you even getting involved?
You know what I mean?
Point? Like,
just walk away.
This white lady couldn't do it. I know it's Ramadan. Maybe you thought like it's the holy month, like you could help, but like you were not helping.
That indigenous lady did not give
like that indigenous lady. That was her 13th reason. She had it up to here. She couldn't. She can't take it anymore. Her little child is just chilling. Probably another day, a regular day in her life.
Girl, she's like, Mom, let's go.
And literally, me and my boyfriend are walking down the hill, and we can still hear this indigenous lady literally going off. The bus hasn't moved. This Indian guy's literally crying, probably talking about I didn't move here for this shit. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, wow, like they don't make the bus drivers the same anymore. Like, this guy literally had a mental breakdown. He couldn't take it anymore. And I'm not saying that OC Transpo bus drivers don't have to deal with a lot, especially if you're doing a downtown route.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my, I could not even imagine. That's why when I look at the people that are in the suburbs being disrespectful, I'm like, you're just a hater, period. Because like, there's no way you're getting the type of people that are downtown.
It's you know what it is? It's people who are rude to service people.
Your job, but the thing is, OC Transpo drivers don't realize that your job is to get us, the community, to a place here and there, safe, obviously, kind of on time, follow the route. Like, that's literally what you got to do. But these people will deny you access to the vehicle, period.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, obviously, like, it was probably not his fault that he's late. And, like, I don't understand why that guy waited till he got off the bus. Like, I mean, better that he waited.
I mean, he was going off in the very beginning.
Yeah, but like, it's just like, people are just annoying. Like, why are you yelling at the bus driver? You don't think the bus driver knows he's late? He didn't mean to. Obviously, he's not doing it on purpose.
And like, I get everyone's going through their own things. Like, I'm sure that guy was obviously had a stressful day or whatever the hell's going on with his life. And then there's just so many different storylines getting together under one circumstance and shit just exploding. Like, you should be nice to everyone.
You never know what people are going through.
I was just so happy that I was able to get on the bus, get off the... Like, I didn't even make it home, technically. Like, technically, I should be complaining to get a little refund from my $2.80 that they charged my card. Because I did not make it home that day on the bus. I had to walk off. And I feel bad for, that Indigenous lady with her kid. Like, life is already stressful enough, and then you're getting around the city on the bus. So that shit is just annoying. Like, you already know you're not getting to wherever you need to get to on time.
Yeah.
And then for it to stop and you need to get the next bus, which is probably also going to come late and it's rush hour. It's like, it's just a lot going on. And I get it. Like, that guy was going to be late. Who knows where that woman with her child was going to go.
Oh, was he really going to be late? Because he was ready to square up. So like, sir, a fight is
like ready to lose your job.
Like, literally, you're ready to lose your job, catch a case. Like, for what?
And he looked like he was wearing like custodial wear and he got off around Ottawa U campus.
You can't work at Ottawa U if you got a freaking criminal record, my mans. You can't be out here threatening the bus driver. Come on now. People be out here wilding.
I was disappointed in the whole situation.
I think it's freaking hilarious.
But yeah.
Only because like in this day and age, to be upset that the OC Transpo is late is crazy.
That's why.
Because it's like, that's the only thing you can count on in this world is that the OC Transpo is going to be late.
The only thing. I don't even know why we waited for the bus, but we waited for the bus because it brings us closer than the O train. And we definitely would have gone, at that point, we would have gone there home sooner if we had took the O train. But my boyfriend was very happy to see the beef happen, so whatever.
Oh, he loves good beef.
He really does.
He loves a good beef. He is so funny. He can get like people. He'll be at a party. And like everyone's having a good time. The next second, I'm walking past and I could hear him listening to other people telling them why they got taken away from their mom at 5. Like, why?
Yeah, he gets
like he'll get people talking like their own, like their person. Yeah, I used to smoke crack. Like, oh really? Like he's all into it. Like he's out here just looking at you like no judgment, just wants to hear the tea. He's like a friendly face that people just want to bare their soul to.
I don't know why.
I mean, neither. I don't know why. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's the height and the full head of hair. Okay, anyways, next topic. The biggest topic. Diddy's properties getting raided.
Diddy.
Speaking of
I know Will loves when we give him all the details about P. Diddy because, you know, Stacey fucking hates P. Diddy. So
it's funny because I went from... Damn it. Oh my God, this damn Stanley Cup. I went from like, I want to go to a Diddy party. Literally months later, the whole Cassie lawsuit, 24 hours later, gets a settlement. And then it's been back to back lawsuits against him and his record label, and
sold all his shares to
Revolt to an anonymous buyer. Yeah. And this week his property in Miami and his property in LA got raided. The LA one had his 2 kids there. You could see like footage of his kids getting in handcuffs. I don't think they were actually arrested, but they were.
Oh, that's so traumatic. Those poor kids.
It is very, very traumatic. And it was Homeland Security. They got a warrant, so they searched stuff. And like Homeland Security,
not only did they search, but they took a lot of. They took all his electrical equipment.
They went in there searching for specific things, and apparently, like, first of all, because a lot of the lawsuits in the beginning, especially like the Cassie one, which was like the infamous one or the famous one, that was a civil lawsuit. And everyone was just saying like, oh, like how if she really wanted retributions, then she would have brought him to criminal court. But like it's very, very hard to prove sexual assault in criminal court.
Especially when you're in a relationship with someone too.
Exactly. Because like they're literally gonna tear down your character being like, oh, you went back, you went back. But for Homeland Security to get an approved warrant for P. Diddy, who's huge, like this is very high profile, and it's because they have enough proof.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure when it comes to getting a warrant, the judge has to sign off on it based on what you have presented to the judge.
The risk is very high, therefore they need to make sure 100%
and they know that if they're wrong, the lawsuit coming back to them,
to the state,
is gonna be even worse.
Exactly.
So it's like you cannot even. And there's no room for error.
They have such a high conviction rate. Like this actually reminds me of. So I watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and one of the girls got Homeland Security came for her, and she was saying like, oh, they have a 94% conviction rate, but that's only because people always take a plea deal. Because they know they're corner. They know they're gonna lose. They know they're gonna lose. They know that they have enough evidence even beforehand. They're literally like. You know when your mom's like, oh, don't make me come over there and find that thing. Like, they know that it's there. Like, that's exactly what it is. Like, Homeland Security came in and they're just like, we are going into this house. We just need to find where it is. They took all of the belongings that they needed. And I'm pretty sure that Diddy is gonna go to jail at some point.
From what the last update was that his plane was routed for Cape Verde. And there's no extradition laws with the U.S. there. So if anything happens and he's there,
he still hasn't been like arrested or anything like that. So he's
not even in the country.
They're still trying to like figure out what they were looking for. And like now that they seize the things, like trying to see what they find, but this also has to do with obviously the Cassie the settlement and the civil lawsuit, like all the things that she said, which probably prompted a lot of this information to go into Homeland, and then also this producer who was currently suing P. Diddy and all of his assets, and he said like he has proof that. Like video footage of a lot of sex trafficking. Like this is all towards sex trafficking.
Yeah, that's what it said in all the articles that I read were all saying that it was all like most of this. And I feel like Homeland Security, like when it comes to Homeland Security, it's because of like
sex trafficking like and also like illegal drugs.
At that status, why are y'all still involved in drugs? It's like Fetty Wap. When Fetty Wap is currently in jail serving a sentence for drug trafficking. And I'm like...
But you literally are famous and have money.
Like, you have the means to make money. Why resort to drugs?
The ghetto out of people.
I mean, you can take the people out of the ghetto. You can't take the ghetto out of them, right?
But, like, Diddy, like, he's got obviously amazing resources and stuff.
Diddy's been famous for so long that it's like he's been... famous for longer than he's been broke. So it's like, why are you still dabbling in drugs?
Because people have their vices and people get their power and they feel like You know, they got away. They got away with this. They got away with that. I'm invincible. I can do whatever. They love the power. They like to blackmail people. Apparently, he has a lot of footage of people doing compromising things, and therefore he like blackmails them so that he has power over them to do whatever the hell he wants to.
Oh my god!
Like he's like an evil.
He's like an evil mastermind. He's like
another
villain.
Jeff Epstein situation. He probably has logs and like a black book of blackmail of everyone, and like he holds a lot of power over people, and now there's been way too many rumors, and it's taken decades and decades of things, and he's still doing it till this day, and it's finally all caught up to him. So I'm very happy that he's finally getting what he deserves. I feel bad for his kids. Obviously it must be traumatizing having people like with guns, like aiming guns at you. I don't know if that was the situation, but they were definitely in handcuffs, which is like crazy.
I feel like anytime a house gets raided, there's definitely guns.
Yeah. And like you
not to talk from experience, because like, you know, I don't really have that much experience, but from the little bit I do have, pretty sure there's guns, because
so I don't know. I just hope, I don't know what they're gonna use as a defense, but like the criminal case is coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
That shit's coming.
Like, they're just waiting to see what evidence they received. And once they find out exactly what they want to place it under, like, you're getting arrested, sir. And also once we find you, because you clearly escaped like Russell Simmons did.
I would have done the same. And I have been sending my sister nothing but memes about this. There's a meme. There's like a video, like a fucking reel of it's like this guy like beating up this other guy, and it's like Russell Simmons when P. Diddy shows up in Indonesia in his hiding spot, and I sent her one, and it's like this guy in a do-rag in a cage, and it says how Homeland Security found Meek Mills. Honestly, I know it's not funny because it's not, but it's actually,
like, you gotta make jokes.
Listen,
like,
the internet, if there's one thing the internet gonna do, is gonna make a joke.
They're gonna make you laugh.
They're gonna make a little jokey joke.
That's the worst part, because obviously P. Diddy is going through it, but he deserves to go through it 100%. I cannot stand that man. I cannot believe that people.
I just wish we could cut to the time when Stacey was like, I want to go to a P. Diddy party.
I know. I could not believe that. I'm pretty sure that week that I said it was the week Cassie filed her lawsuit. Yep. So crazy how that shit works.
Yeah, literally. The universe is like, you don't want to go there, baby. You don't want to go. You don't want nothing to do with that. Come back here, baby.
I'm glad. Honestly, I am glad I never went to a P. Diddy party. I didn't think
Ma'am, you were never invited?
I know I was never invited, and I'm glad that I wasn't, because like the fact that they're drugging people unbeknownst to them, and just putting people in compromising positions and then taking advantage of them.
Speaking of taking advantage, it's like the documentary that just came out of Quiet on the Set.
Yes.
With Drake Bell.
The
Nickelodeon one. And like,
what was his name? Dan Schneider?
Yeah. And back in the day, I remember when he was going through that stuff, but I didn't really know that much. First of all, I was a kid, so I didn't really like follow that like that. Mm-hmm. But it only came out like, I guess recently, because like when this happened, Drake Bell was like a minor, so his name was stricken from the record because he's a minor, right? So they couldn't.
It was a John Doe situation.
Yeah, like it was a John Doe, and it's only recently that it's been revealed that the John Doe was him.
And apparently his dad even said to him, like, thank God it didn't happen to my son,
not knowing that it was,
to find out that his son was the John Doe. But how could you be so not involved? But apparently his dad was involved, and he said that Dan, he got kicked out, and they swapped him out for the mom.
He said that Dan drew a wedge between him and his dad, and it started creating problems between him and his dad, and then that's how his dad ended up getting pushed out.
So much that it's so estranged that he didn't even know that he was the John Doe.
Yeah, and like it's just crazy because it's like I remember watching like all that, and I remember watching Drake and Josh, and I remember watching all those shows and like wishing I was on those shows and whatever. Mm-hmm. And I remember when you wanted to be a model and mom was like, never,
right?
Like never in your life. Like our mom was like, absolutely fucking not. And she always used to say, because they're gonna rape you, and I was like, okay mom, like whatever, like okay, like But now I understand that she's not.
Is. And because kids want it so bad and parents want it so bad, which is the saddest thing, like an R. Kelly situation, they trust their children in the hands of strangers just because they have money or power, which is
because Drake
the
Bell
saddest thing.
Drake Bell said that he was sleeping at Dan's house on the couch when it first started happening. Why is a parent like me, I'm not a mom, okay? But if I had kids, even if they worked on a set or whatever, like there's never a time where I would be like okay with my kids. First of all, even without having like kids in the industry or whatever, I would never feel comfortable letting my child sleep anywhere other than my sister's house. Like if it ain't my sister's, you ain't going nowhere.
And we thought our mom was punishing us whenever we'd be like, we want to sleep over at this person's house, whatever. And she'd be like, no.
You're not going anywhere.
Like they're coming over here if they are coming over. And like it makes so much more sense as a grown up because you really a lot of the times it's people close to you. Like obviously for Drake it was his
boss, basically.
It was his boss, and then for most people it's family members.
Yeah, it's like uncles and cousins and
they're building that trust with you, and then they're telling you like it's our little secret. Or they're incentivizing us with like, oh, you'll get more screen time, you'll get more this. And then it's just, honestly, I am almost against child stars because the dynamic is so messed up with parents and children because now you're funding your family.
Well, okay, look at
Honey. They're dependent on your paycheck.
Did you hear what happened with Honey Boo Boo?
No.
So, what's her real name? Alana something. I forget what her last name is. But anyways, Honey Boo Boo. Everyone knows Honey Boo Boo. And her mom, Mama June. And she used to be on Toddlers and Tiaras, and she was like a big part of Toddler and Tiara. Like she was a little chunky girl, but she was super cute and she was funny and like, you know, like a little bit country, a little bit redneck, you know, funny, hilarious, whatever. And all the money that she made from Toddlers and Tiara, her mom spent. She has not one dime. Like they were so there's like this thing I guess called a Coogan account. That's like
where
in the States,
it's locked
where
up until your 18th
a minimum of
birthday
15%. But Mama June was telling everyone she was putting 80% and only keeping 20. But in reality, she was putting 20 and keeping the 80. And there's a video, like there's a couple videos of like I guess they still have a show or whatever. Mm-hmm. And on the show, she's confronting her mom because she's like, I want to use the money to go to college, and her mom's like, there's no money. And she's like, but you told me you were putting, she's like, well, what do you think how do you think we did all these trips and the houses and the cars? And that's what she said to her sister, because she has a sister named Pumpkin. And her sister, I love her sister Pumpkin, because Pumpkin.
I remember her.
Pumpkin will never let Mama June live, okay? She don't give a damn. She ain't giving her no peace. And she's like, your job, she's like, what's the point? And she's like, there was never any room for anyone else to take advantage of her because you're her mama and you were doing it. She's like, you told everyone that you were only taking 20%. Meanwhile, this girl has nothing. How's she supposed to go to college? How's she supposed to do all this stuff? You paid for cars. You paid for this. She's like, I was on drugs and blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't steal anything. And she's like, you did steal it. She's like, I didn't steal it. I didn't take anything out of the account. No, you never put it in. Like, girl.
That's crazy.
The way I wanted to punch Mama June through the screen.
But that's why those parents that like risk everything on their kids, like those are the ones you kind of have to worry about, because once the funds start coming in, obviously you have to start funding the life of your parents, because your parents literally quit their day job for your dream to come true. So their dream.
But is it your dream or is it their dream? Because as a child, do you really have a dream?
And like I remember, constantly have to be on the road. They constantly have to have hotels and stuff. A lot of times, especially back in the day, like production wasn't paying for that, so the parents were paying for that. So obviously, it's coming from that paycheck.
Yeah, and it's like a lot. Like it's not really like, it's just sad to think that people would take advantage, and not only just people, but your own parents.
But they think that they're entitled because you're their kids, and like you're like, I did this for you, therefore you're returning the favor. Like I was the smart one, you didn't know better, but like.
Exactly, really? This isn't my dream, because when I was 5, I wanted to be a dinosaur. So clearly, I don't know shit. Like,
there are actually some kids that want to be actors since they're young. But I just couldn't imagine, and I don't know what that says about my mom, but my mom was working hard with having 2 kids and she was surviving, and maybe that's what their case is. But like, my mom was not about to drop her situation to follow my 5-year-old dream.
Yeah, my mom would have told me to go sit down in a corner somewhere and get over it.
No.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. I just feel really bad, and it's funny, well, not funny, but it's just crazy because I remember back in the 20, I want to say 20, like maybe 2014 or something like that, 2015, when Amanda Bynes was on her like rampage on Twitter. And there was a tweet that she made. And I actually remember reading this tweet. And I didn't even have Twitter at the time. But I remember that she posted something saying that Dan Schneider got her pregnant at 13 and she had to get an abortion at 13 years old. Now she's not part of the documentary and she just doesn't want to like have anything to do with it. However, it does explain a lot of the reason, like, of her downfall. Yeah. Like, because it's like...
And no one listens to these people when they're talking about it at the time. That's the thing.
And also because it was just so erratic. Like, for the longest time, Amanda Bynes was one of the top actresses. Yeah. She was in all the movies. Like, everybody loved Amanda Bynes. And then one day, it's almost like a light switch, and then it's like a complete 180, and she was like the complete opposite of like the girl next door, the cute girl, the sweet girl, and she was just like...
And it happens to so many child stars. Aaron Carter, Orlando Bloom.
My God, Orlando Bloom.
He's so messed up. I mean, gems of reels.
Oh my God, no.
It's actually crazy. He's hilarious. But like, he has so many mental disorders.
He's always getting caught with methamphetamines.
He's so messed up on
beating
drugs.
His girlfriend, and he's just like wilding out. Like
talking about how he slept with Diddy and he liked it. Like, he is messed up in the head big time.
Yeah.
And like all this. And you know what? I'm really looking at the older society because like sideways, because we were kids.
Yeah.
Like now when we look at things, when we look at kids shows now, this is when we could say stuff about things. But at the time, we had no idea like these things were happening. Yeah. And some of the scripts were so inappropriate. The things that they were making these kids do, say, wear. And like just going back, watching like Zoe 101 or like the all that show. And some of the black cast were saying how racist some of the things were and how they were the token black person and they were treated differently. Like so much was happening behind the scenes.
Corey, the one that plays in That's So Raven, her little brother.
Yeah.
He has an older brother.
Yes, he was in Zoe 101.
So his mom, who I want to fight, like I actually want to fight her. I don't even care. Like I don't want to fight many people, but I want to fight his mom because she came on the internet like a dumbass defending Dan Schneider. And I'm like, for you to know that this man has done this to a child, to any child, one, whether it's yours or not, and to stand on the internet and defend that man when you have your own kids, you're a monster. Like you are literally you're the kind of parent that would put your child in the hands of a predator and say, okay, see you later. Let me know how it goes.
Yep.
Let me know if you need anything. Condoms.
Yeah, like he helped you. You wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for him.
Like, he also freaking did a lot of bad things. He violated these kids. Like, it's just crazy.
Even Drake Bell in the documentary, he said, like, he didn't even want to talk too much about what happened to him. He's just like, just think of the worst thing that you could possibly do to a child. He did that.
Yeah. And it was hard. Like, I can't watch.
I didn't watch the documentary.
I can't watch things like that only because, like, when it comes to like, it just hurts my heart. Like, it's just like I can't like, and it also like stops me from being able to sleep because like I'm like thinking about it and stuff like that. So like, I couldn't imagine being someone. And like, there's so many people who you know like most parents work so hard to protect their kids, and it's like. Then there's people like that guy's mom who are out here being like, it was fine. He was helping us and we've got.
I don't even know if Dan Schneider is a parent. I feel like he's not.
I hope not.
But the fact that you know that kids are so innocent and impressionable and to just violate them like that is like you're a monster.
You deserve to be put to death.
You do deserve to be put to death. Like, I'm sorry. And I was looking on Instagram, you know, Mandy from Horrible Decisions.
Yes.
She always talks about how she doesn't want to have kids. More because like the responsibility. And she's very selfish. Not in a bad way. She just is very selfish. She cares about herself before anything else. Mm-hmm. And she was posting clips from, I think it was called Hustler, the J-Lo movie.
Yeah.
Where she's a stripper. Yeah. And J-Lo keeps saying like how she loves being a mother, but she said that being a mother is like, it's like a life sentence and like it's a disorder to be a mom because you're always stressing out. And like, as much as I do want to have kids, like the stress of having to be responsible for a human
life,
being that is not yourself, that is so vulnerable, is I could just imagine how stressful, and still cannot truly imagine.
And I understand now why our mother was always in a bad mood.
Literally.
Like, always.
And I was talking to my coworker about this, and she was saying how, like, oh, my dad the other day, he told me how, like, the biggest blessing and the biggest purpose of his life is his kid. And she's just like, why is my dad lying to me? Like, never once did he not seem stressed out having me, hated the fact that I made the decisions that I made in life. Like, he's lying. And he could only say that as an older man, like, now. But at the time, like, there was no way that I was his biggest blessing. Like, I was his biggest curse on life. And I'm like, that is so true. Like, having a child is so stressful.
Your brain never rests. It's
never, even if they're old.
Okay, so our mom started snoring in the last few years, like, really badly. And my mom used to be the lightest sleeper you've ever met in your life. Like, our house is made, like, it's like the basement, the main floor, the upstairs. And all three of our bedrooms were upstairs, and my mom's bedroom is in the basement. I would get out of bed, and she could hear me. And all I would hear is her yelling upstairs, get back into bed. Like, whoever's out of bed, get in bed. Okay? That was, like, my whole childhood. Up until I left my mom's house, my mom has always been like that. And I was talking to my mom about it recently, and she was like, I feel like now that you guys are adults, I can rest. Like, she's like, I feel like I'm catching up for the years of sleep that I didn't get. And that's why she's such a profound sleeper now, because she doesn't have to think about it anymore. And I feel like that's facts. Like,
they're literally life sentences.
This is literally like the curse of being a parent. Also, like, I know it's a blessing, but like, this is the metaphor of parenthood, is that you will never get a good night's sleep until your kids are sound and safe and at home, like, and they're good, you know, like. Yeah.
And even then, like, I'm sure she'd sleep even better if all three of us
if all three of us were in the house, we wouldn't even hear a peep. She'd never leave her room. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, there's people out there that are preying on children, and even
some people, it's their preference.
You know what else disgusts me? And I'm not trying to comfort people, but like, those mommy accounts that are like showing their kids in weird outfits and whatever, like, there's a whole thing going on social media right now on TikTok about this little girl named Ren, and her mom is just like putting her daughter in like weird outfits, and like all the saves are by old men and like gross men and like all this stuff. And it's like, you're just exploiting your kid for views from people who are literally predators. And it's just like, at what point who's supposed to protect children if not your parent? You know what I mean? Like, who's out here looking out for kids? There's an ad.
I think I sent it on our chat with Taina, and it was like parents posting their child on the internet, and then it was like an AI / like a warning to parents of posting their children online, and how people can take that data and like forge a bunch of shit from that data. And it was like they made the baby turn into like an adult, and the adult child was talking to the parents saying like, yeah, like, I know you guys love me, but like, I didn't consent to this. But then they take that argument too far, and they're just like, your children didn't consent to their gender, and you know, they be going.
Or even like, your child didn't consent to you changing their diaper. You have to ask your baby. Like, bro, the baby can't even hold its fucking head up. Okay? Like, every time he tries to talk, he spits up. He doesn't even know what's going on. Like, stop this. He needs tummy time, not permission to change his ass. It's hard to get an ass rash. Like, come on, be fucking for real. Like, there are certain things that are just like, people will always take.
It's just common sense, you would think, but like,
common sense is not common anymore.
And that's the thing. And if you lack common sense, people will take advantage of you and your kids.
Yep.
And so I feel bad for people, and it's really important that even adults learn to have a voice for themselves, because if you're the type of person that's a people pleaser, or like you never stand up for yourself, and then you have a kid, like, how is someone going to stand up for your kid if you're the type of person to be a people pleaser or whatever? I saw one documentary, and it was about this girl.
Excuse me, but our mom is a people pleaser and you are not. I think it's because
Mom is kind of like she's a special human being.
Just not with us, though.
Like, but like there was this documentary of this woman who was down bad and she was at Dollarama or something, and this man came up to her and he was just like, "Let me help you," and she's like, "Okay," and then she's like, "Oh, I need to go to Walmart." He drove her to Walmart. They were walking around looking for stuff. He said he's gonna buy her whatever she needed, and as she was walking looking for stuff, he took the daughter, walked away with her. You see her footage of him leaving, getting in a van. Next thing you know, the daughter's dead.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, it's sad. People are out here preying on people and they're waiting to catch you slipping.
Yeah, it's true.
It's bad.
It's true.
So watch out, especially if you're a parent. And if you want to be a parent, make sure you're prepared because there's a lot going on in this
Nothing
world.
will ever prepare you to be a parent. I think it's just one of those things, like, you just kind of have
Godspeed.
Yeah, literally, Godspeed. You just have to kind of be thrown into the wolves and just hope that you come out alive.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what it is, because the way this world is set up, it is not made for the weak.
It is not, unfortunately.
Speaking of the weak,
we gotta go.
No. We do?
Yeah.
Okay, wrap it up.
You can say it on the next episode.
All right.
It's
gonna be too late on the next episode.
Okay, then say it just now. We can put in a couple more minutes.
I was just gonna talk about Drake, but
oh no, we're saying that for the next episode.
All right, watch the next episode. I want to get into the Drake.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok at SpicyTalesPodcast, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Bye.